Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Hall. This is news you can use to fight fascism. This is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. What are we doing? Have you ever looked at someone and thought to yourself, I wonder why evolution hasn't stopped this yet? Why hasn't natural selection pruned that family tree? Of course, I'm talking about Rachell Hamm. Here she is, Rachell Hamm, a GOP, we talked about her before, a GOP candidate for Secretary of State in California, insists that Trump won all 50 states in 2020. Her proof, a dream she had. I'm sorry, I got to use my female voice for this. I feel certain that what really happened and that it's only fraud that made it look otherwise. And there she is, Rachell Hamm. Now, you may wonder, we've talked about Rachell Hamm before, is Rachell Hamm real? Because she just says so many crazy things that you think that this person can't exist. She can't be real, right? Oh no, here she is from Ballotpedia. She is indeed real. And of course, she's working for the Republican Party, and she is running for California Secretary of State. This soon, she's going to be in the primary. And did you know she has a YouTube channel? Now, she's so crazy. She must only have 1 or 2 followers, right? I'm sorry. This is a trigger warning for those of you who are content creators on YouTube. Here it is. Oh, 51,700 subscribers. So she is very real and very crazy.
I had talked about having the dream about the red wave and how every single state was turning. It was kind of like what is that show? Wheel of Fortune, where they tap the thing and it turns. It was like that. It was like a map, and it was like ding, 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 like all the states turning until the whole map was red. And I knew that that was the truth. That every single state was red. Specifically with the 2020 election, I believe that every single state went red. And I know people are gonna mock me. I don't care. I feel fairly certain that that is what happened.
I'm with you.
And that it's only fraud that made it look otherwise.
Why is Rachell Hamm so popular? I think that most of her subscribers are probably like the host that we just saw. What was his name? Christopher McDonald. I think they just have certain demographics have a fixation on somewhat pretty blonde women who speak crazy, and they happen to be that demographic right there. What's that demographic? Oh, it's Christopher McDonald demographic. Just wants to look at somewhat pretty and the way crazy women. And I just want to say to everyone, I could easily launch into this diatribe about Wheel of Fortune, but I'm going to make a confession. I watch Wheel of Fortune. I think I do moderately well playing the game at home, and I feel that Rachell Hamm has somehow insulted the good honor, the righteous honor of Wheel of Fortune by bringing that game show into her Christo-fascist fantasy. Gonna check out the chat here on the YouTubes. On the YouTubes, I'm talking about it just looking and crazy. That's right, Lee. Good morning. Dr. Mordecai, you're welcome. Is this what I'm doing here fighting? I don't know. Maybe I'm just shouting at clouds. Maybe. Yes, Cindy Plaza, there is a significant chance. There's a small chance that she could be a dream that I'm having right now. And I keep trying to pinch myself. I'm pinching myself right now. And yet I'm still not awake. So yeah. Good morning, good John Christian. And Chris Black is in the house. Good morning, Chris. All right. So we're just not here to talk about the insanity of Rachell Hamm. We're here to talk about something positive. We're going to talk about abiogenesis. I'm not really sure about the pronunciation. I'm sure if you're science literate, if you've been in the atheist secular community, you will hear these things from creationists. Sure, evolution, natural selection may work within a species. That's micro evolution. But you can't get life from non-life. Maybe you can. Maybe it's already happened. The beginnings of life. First evidence of molecular evolution of RNA. This is from Jonathan M.S. Pierce over at Only Sky. Let's take a look. Research from the University of Tokyo has provided the first empirical evidence that simple biological molecules can lead to the emergence of complex lifelike systems, as they created an RNA molecule that replicates, diversifies, and develops complexity following Darwinian evolution. See, if it quacks like life and ducks like a life, does that make it life? This is the holy grail of naturalism, abiogenesis. Not just the diversification of life, but the start of it. There's long been hypothesized that there's been a period of time in which self-replicating RNA molecules proliferated before the evolution of DNA and proteins, themselves the building blocks of life. The idea is that about 4 billion years ago, these existing RNA molecules started to self-replicate, becoming more diverse and eventually leading to the creation of life. One of the missing pieces of the evidence for this theory is that we have not been able to replicate the process in the lab. However, this may now have been achieved as reported in a study published in Nature Communications. Project Assistant Professor Ryo Mizuchi, oh, I probably butchered that person's name, I'm sorry, and Professor, I'm not even going to try, the second professor there, at this Graduate School of Arts and Sciences at the University of Tokyo, and their team carried out a long-term RNA replication experiment in which they witnessed the transition from a chemical system towards biological complexity. We found that the single RNA species evolved into a complex replication system, a replicator network comprising 5 types of RNAs with diverse interactions, supporting the plausibility of long envisioned evolutionary transition scenario, said Mizuchi. Hey, take that, young Earth creationists. Take that, Ken Hamm. What made this experiment different from others? Because the research team used a unique RNA replication system that could undergo Darwinian evolution, a self-perpetuating process of continuous change based on mutations and natural selection. This enabled different characteristics to emerge, and the ones that were adapted to the environment were able to survive. Honestly, I just want to say that once again. Now tell me if I'm wrong, chat. That seems like life to me. That seems like it. Honestly, we initially doubted that such diverse RNA could evolve and coexist. Mizuchi said, in evolutionary biology, the competitive exclusion principle states that more than one species cannot coexist if they are competing for the same resources. This means that the molecules must establish a way to use different resources, one after another, for sustained diversification. They are just molecules, so we wondered if it were possible for non-living chemical species to spontaneously develop such innovations. If it isn't life, it seems awfully close to it. Right? What do you guys think? Tesla Ranger says, if we started with no life and we have life now, of course we got life from non-life. It follows logically. It's how that life started. We disagree on magic or natural processes. Until scientists evolve a human from a pine cone, young Earth creationers will never be convinced. You know what, Scott Duke? I would have to agree with you on that. I would have to agree with you on the fact that you would literally have to have RNA in a petri dish. And what's the usual limit for people to watch a YouTube video? I think it's 5 or 6 minutes. So you'd have to get RNA in a petri dish, and it would have to evolve into a human within maybe 4 minutes or 5 minutes, just to keep people interested, if you're going to make a video out of it. Hey, I was feeling depressed about my emotional condition. Andy brought me back to life today. Well, that's what I do. I put flesh upon your bones and put the breath of life into you. Is that from the Bible? I think that might be from the Bible, quoting the good book. I can't wait to hear the apologetic gymnasts from Theists. Indeed, Scott. Sean, indeed. Oh, that's right, Dr. Mordecai. Well, one of the arguments will be from the young Earth creationists, from the Christo-fascists, will be that, God made the scientists do that. Or another apologetic will be, that's Satan's RNA. That's satanic scientists making RNA that does the devilish work of evolution and natural selection. Who else is here? I think, okay, we got a good group here today. All right, so what are we doing? Are we going to do the halftime tummy rub show? I think we are. Before we start talking about Christo-fascists here in the United States of America, other Christo-fascists than Rachell Hamm. I'm going to drop a cat video. Once again, there's no ads on this channel. Please, at least like the video. If you could like the video, that'd be great. That'd be wonderful. That'd be perfect. But you want to do more than perfect? You want to be more human than human? Is that from the Nexus Corporation? Is that from Blade Runner? I think it could be. You could always subscribe to the channel, drop a couple of shekels and the PayPal, Venmo account to become a YouTube member or a patron. I didn't hear the cat meow. There was a cat, and I wanted to hear the cat meow, and I didn't hear anything, and I was really disappointed. I'm going to try that again. I don't know if anyone heard the cat meow, the kitten. I hope you did, because that's right. Way too cute. Way too cute. And what better way to start talking about Donald J. Trump and his attempt to overthrow the government of the United States of America than with an introduction of a cat. Here we go. This gentleman here got out fascist by a fascist. Representative Mo Brooks there, senator from Alabama. He was suckling at the phallus of Donald J. Trump. And now Donald J. Trump has revoked his support of Representative Mo. It's sad. Single tear, everyone. Link in the description below, folks. Representative Mo Brooks says Trump repeatedly asked him to rescind the 2020 election. It's funny how this guy just found a spine now that, and he's gone public with his story. Now that, Trump has stopped his support for him. But I'm getting ahead of this sad tale. Or actually, it's a tale of Schadenfreude because I'm getting the warm feelings in my tummy from this. Representative Mo Brooks of Alabama reported his claim Thursday that former President Donald Trump has personally asked him to work to rescind the 2020 election, remove Joe Biden from office, and install Trump in his place. The president has asked me to rescind the election of 2020, Brooks told WIAT. He always brings up, we have to rescind the election. We have to take Joe Biden down and put me in now. When asked if Trump still wants that to do that says that to him, Brooks says yes. Of course, Donald Trump does. Of course, he's going to ask people to continue doing the crazy stuff, right? While Trump's direct pressure on lawmakers and government officials at both state and federal level to intervene in the election has been well documented, he largely gave up his public and legal push to overturn the results after the violence on January 6th. Trump never directly conceded the election, though he did give a short speech the day after the riot. That's the January 6th riot, of course, acknowledging that the new administration would be inaugurated and promising a smooth and orderly transition. But according to Brooks, Trump was still working behind the scenes in an attempt to convince lawmakers like him to prevent Biden from taking office. It is a claim that up until this point has not been made. In a text exchange with CNN, Brooks said that his conversations with Trump about pushing to rescind the election came after September 1st, 2021, and multiple times. I would not be surprised if Donald J. Trump is using this as a type of loyalty test to determine whether or not politicians are still going to be loyal to him personally. Because let's remember something, folks, is that fascists don't want you to be loyal to the country. They don't want you to be loyal to anyone else besides themselves, besides the leader. And so I could easily see Donald J. Trump using this as a loyalty test to making sure that people are still on his side. And Mo basically said, look, there's no way I can do this. And so that's why Trump rescinded his support for Representative Mo. in case you want to know what kind of douchebag this guy is, this will answer some of your questions. The Alabama Republican first made the claim in a statement responding to Trump's decision to pull his endorsement in the Senate race. Brooks was once one of Trump's most loyal supporters on Capitol Hill. He was among the first Republicans to pledge to work to use the certification of the election on January 6th to overturn the results. He also spoke during the Stop the Steal rally. Stop the Steal. Listen to me. Stop the Steal rally at the White House ellipse that preceded the Capitol attack. Donned in a Kevlar vest, Brooks told the crowd that they needed to start taking down names and kicking ass. So it strikes me, and tell me if I'm wrong, everyone, that Mo Brooks realized that he was on the losing side at a certain point, that he could no longer follow Donald J. Trump because it wouldn't help him at all. And so he told Trump, listen, I can't help you anymore. And that's why Trump cut him loose. And Trump rescinded his support for Brooks in the next election cycle. Oh, checking out the chat. Let's see what people have to say. When Mo is less. Oh, John Hudson, on fire from downtown. See, Cindy Plaza, this is interesting because this is I love having this conversation with my fellow liberals and my fellow progressives. Cindy Plaza says, I don't think Trump can calculate things like that. He believes his own. See, now I would disagree with that. I remember reading that on election night in 2016, that seems like a long time ago, that he was ready just to go on vacation. Even though he said he was very confident about winning, that came to a surprise to him as much as anyone else. Sure, there are many times that bullshitters are caught up in their own bullshit, but I think, and Donald J. Trump is not a genius. Don't get me wrong; he's not a criminal mastermind. Fascists are idiots in general, but he has a very simple playbook, and just like the Republicans do, it's a very simple playbook, and they stick to the playbook all the time. You're right, John Christian. Trump's politics is like biker or gang behavior. It's like gangster behavior. Yeah, definitely. But if it was a peaceful protest, why would he need Kevlar? Good point, Sean. Good point. All right. Is that it? That was a fast show. That was a really fast show. So I posted a new bit on Only Sky just before the show started. It was about, and it's a comedy bit. Maybe it's a comedy bit. I don't know. It's about an American billionaire declaring war against oligarchs. Of course, there's a twist. Of course, it's an attempt at social commentary. But and I did I throw the link in? I think I threw the link somewhere in the chat. My latest bit. Hey, thanks for showing up. We're doing the after party after show. If you want to be on the panel, the link is in the description below. The link to watch the show, it's on our sister channel, the Naked Diner podcast channel. The link to that channel is in the description below in case you just want to watch, if you're into that kind of thing. All right, everyone. I might drop a short video. I just dropped a short video, actually, like a little 18-second video this morning. I might drop one or two over the weekend, too. I don't know. If nothing else, I'll see you at 9:30. If I don't see you at 9:30, I'll see you on the other side of the weekend. Maybe, possibly, perhaps, hopefully. Cat video, and then thank you video for patrons, supporters, and supporter. Oh, that's it. Oh. Come on, man.